Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again, going to be continuing a single player playthrough on 1.1. So if you weren't here last time or last week, we had gotten our factory completed for the assembly directory systems and whatnot, and the factory is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it enough at least to go ahead and move on to the next factory. So the next factory that we're going to be working on is probably turbo motors. More than likely, we shall see. Haven't quite decided yet, but we'll decide in a minute. So yeah, without further wasting of time, I guess, let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's go. Alright then, and here we are in the most annoying hub in the world. Nah, I love it. It's pretty cool. It just, yeah, definitely is like, so loud. Oh boy. I think I got a screenshot. No, I didn't get a screenshot. Damn, it's too slow. 1101 days since last incident. That's pretty good. Let's get the heck out of here, man, and get going on this factory. Oh, and then of course, music. There we go. Didn't want to overlap the music. I don't know if it would, but well, what happened there? Huh. I didn't realize wow, I completely forgot I left that sign there. I was just like, has somebody else been on my world? It's a single player. The heck? But yeah, so some news. The battery factory project is nearly complete, which is very good news indeed. So we'll eventually have that one. And I know people are just like, battery factory, what the heck? This is taking so long. It's just a tiny factory. It has very little impact. I know. But it is a glorious project, and it is almost done. So yeah, we'll be getting around to it soon. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and flashy. Let's just get the heck out of here, man. We haven't been down here in a while. So I have decided to do the turbo motors factory out here in the desert. So I think that's what we'll get started on. So we have a nice big space right here. Nice big flat space. And we actually have an intersection right there that we can tee off of as well. Well, I guess four-way off of. Don't take that out of context either. But yeah, definitely going to be doing turbo motors next, I think, is the next step. Because once turbo motors is done, then it's just the phase 4 factories, and that's it. That's all we need. I mean, yeah, we still haven't built the SAM factory or anything like that, messing with SAM or whatever, but I'm not too bothered, to be honest. I'm not too bothered. Oh, we need to go back over here. I need to see what factories are left over at the starting area where we had began our journey. We still have a couple of temporary factories over here that I need to look at. Because I don't remember which ones need to be deleted. It'd be really great if we could get rid of those. I mean, no reason in particular, but yeah, just getting rid of the temporary factories that are no longer needed. Oh, is there only one left? Oh, you know what? I bet it is. I bet SAM fluctuators. Yeah, I think it's SAM fluctuators. We need some reanimated SAM as well. Oh, and then the autosave, of course. Alrighty, stupid for them. Okay. So this needs... What does this need? It needs SAM, doesn't it? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's out of SAM. Reanimated SAM. There we are. In she goes. Get that factory up and going again. This one's also summer sloop so that it doubles the amount of SAM fluctuators we get. That way we have a nice, decent... Because I imagine we're not going to have a SAM fluctuator factory for quite a while, so... But yeah. I'm glad to be back over here, though, with a little bit more frames. Over here is not so crazy. There's not a million factories everywhere that lag the game out terribly. Because that's my major issue. My major issue when it comes to this game is I go too crazy with a lot of stuff, and it ends up in a situation where certain areas are kind of like a no-go zones because it's just like it's way too laggy out there. Yeah, like the grasslands. The grasslands is beautiful, but laggy as all heck, man. Yeah, my CPU maxes out when I'm over there. I mean, my CPU still maxes out when I'm over here too, but it's like, it doesn't really hurt it all too much. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to this. Yeah, it's because I was over in the, when I loaded up the game, I was over in the grasslands over by the assembly directory systems. That factory came out wonderful. But yeah, it's time to work on this factory. So I'm going to leave the factory at this level. I think that would probably be... Excuse me. That would probably be the best. As well as at some point, we do need to go over and finish that bridge. A bridge we never finished. We had to move on, okay? We had to move on. And that bridge was unnecessary. But eventually, yes, I do want to finish it. And now that we've got the new curve mode with pipes, because... Before I was doing it in beams and it just was not working. It looked too crappy. Yeah, so basically what I got to do is I've got to do it with pipes with the new curve mode. That'll definitely sort that out. I might be using pipes on this factory too for detail because of what I'm thinking about. I'm just hoping this factory turns out well. I think it will, but at the same time, I'm a little bit anxious, I guess you could say, about building this factory. Because I know what I want to do, and I know how crazy the factory build's going to be. There we go. It's like, yeah, I know how crazy the factory's going to be, so... It's just like, yeah... It's going to be interesting. Okay, let's grab this. Get us away from the... Oh. Can I snap it? Yeah, I guess I can't snap it. That's okay. We'll just nudge it around that we need. There we go. Oops. Oh. Oh, out of power. Power. I need more power. It's in blueprint mode. There we go. Snap these here. Yeah, when you use blueprints to build train lines, you build them so much faster. Yeah, I think we'll go one more. Like I said, just to kind of get away from the rail line itself. We'll go one more, but we won't put in the... Or should we put in the supports? Maybe we should put in the supports. Well, it's just there's going to be a lot of... I don't know if there's going to be a lot of front detail or not. So I'm just kind of giving myself a lot of room to not run into the rail line here. There's plenty of space out here, so I'm not too worried about space. Okay, let's build our intersection. Now, we can't mess this intersection up, because if we mess up the intersection, we have to rebuild the entire thing, including these pieces that lead into it. Because there's a current bug with 1.1 that if you you know how when you connect two tracks like this into a single track, it creates this it creates the switch signal. Well, switch signal is created, like I said, when you place it. However, in 1.1, if I delete this one, or I delete this one, or this one, or this one, the switch signals, if you had already saved the game and, you know, closed the game out and came back in, the switch signals will stay, and then you'll rebuild the track, but the train won't realize there's actually 2 tracks there. It'll just realize whatever one you didn't delete, and it'll use that track. Even though the switch is there, the switch don't work. It's buggy. And I mean, I can't believe they made intersections even more buggy, because it's confused even more people on how intersections work and whatnot. You know, and a lot of people are just like, yeah, it bugs out if you put the switch, or if you put the signals right up against the switches, it bugs it out. And it's just like, yeah, it does, but that's only if you build it crazy. Well, I say crazy. If you build it like I build it, then you don't have any issues. But yeah, like I said, I can't mess this intersection up. So when I place these, I'm gonna have to place these correctly, the way they need to be placed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this. I'm actually just gonna drag it to here. That way we can have a short block. We'll have a short block for the actual intersection, or just after the intersection. I mean, that way the switches don't remain. And since we're gonna do that, I'm actually gonna have to do it on this side too. I'm gonna put it here. And there's a very specific reason I'm doing this. That won't fit. It doesn't matter. But yeah, there's a very specific reason that I did that like that. Is so that because when you're waiting for an intersection, you're waiting for this to clear. It's like, yeah, we'll just have that go. It's actually better to do it on the main line, but whatever. It works. It works either way. I know that's not a very good explanation. Eventually, I'm going to go into making tutorials. Yeah. Like I said, like I said last week, when it come to Satisfactory, I kind of hit a little bit of a wall when it came to that. And I was just like, man, you know, I've already been burned out on this game before, and I kind of was starting to feel it. And I was just like, yeah, I better lay off Satisfactory for a little bit and kind of, we'll keep the series going, but we won't do an episode every single day, and that will hopefully slow that down, or stop it in its tracks. The building rails. Alright, so foundations. And it's like, I do not want to stop the series because, you know, so many people enjoy it, including me. I enjoyed the series. I enjoyed the series pretty immensely, so yeah. Just like, man, just too much stuff. Too many things. I've already, you know, even though I've already beat the game many, many times, you still experience burnout every now and again, just a little bit of it. Okay, so I'm gonna want this factory. When it comes to turbo motors, what kind of recipe do we want to go with? Oops, I'm hitting all the wrong keys today. So turbo motors. So we need turbo motors for the thermal propulsion rockets over here. And I figured, since there's not many factories out here in the desert, we might as well build one or two. You know, we might as well build one or two and see what we can make. See what we can make happen. Yeah. Okay, so I remember thinking I wanted a turbo pressure motor. And the reason I wanted the turbo pressure motor was because the turbo pressure motor, the radio control units are already being used for the most part. And then this one uses the cooling system. However, the cooling system is also used by the thermal propulsion rockets themselves as well. So if we open it in here, you can see it's used by the regular turbo motor. It's used by these. It's also used by the OC computer, but we're not doing this recipe, so we don't really need it. The thermal propulsion rocket, this one does not have an alternate, but it uses quite a lot of cooling systems. Oop. That's quite a hard call. It's between this one and the turbo pressure motor. And the reason I think the turbo pressure motor is actually, I don't know if we can see it from here. Let's see. Can I see it from here? Nope, I can't see it from here. Okay. There's actually a factory over there making making empty fluid tanks. Over there in the desert canyon, and it looks like a giant fluid tank. It's great. Yeah, what kind of? I guess we gotta kind of figure this out. What kind of recipe we want to go with? Yeah, let me. I guess I'll crunch some numbers. We'll do some math and see what kind of what kind of recipe we want to go with. Either way, it's going to be 6 train stations. So. Alrighty then, and we are back with our numbers over here. So this is the plan I'm going with. I'm going with the turbo pressure motor. And it's like, but you're using your pressure conversion cubes to make those. It's like, yes, this is true. However, the amount of radio control units, because the radio control units is really the limiting factor, because we're a limiting factory, I guess you could say. Because we're only making, we go over here, we're only making 40 per minute, and we're already using 20 of them for pressure conversion cubes. And we're making 20 pressure conversion cubes. We only need 5 pressure conversion cubes if we want to do the 5 nuclear pasta per minute. Eventually I will end up doubling that so that we can get them a little faster, because we're gonna need nuclear pasta in phase 5. At least it has question marks, so I'm assuming that, yeah, we're going to need it in phase 5. But we're only needing 4 pressure conversion cubes per minute. This is what I figured out when trying to crunch the numbers between, because we're not doing, we go over here to turbo motors. We're not doing the electric motor. No way. That takes the most amount of radio control units out of all 3. It is insane. Plus, the amount of motors it needs is crazy. But yeah, so this one was the best recipe. But what I found out while I was looking at the numbers and stuff like that, the radio control units, when you use the turbo pressure motor, the amount of radio control units you need for that chain is halved compared to the standard recipe. Yes, you're using some of your pressure conversion cubes, but you can. You basically, if you already have your radio control units, just up your pressure conversion cube factory a little bit to use a little bit more, or at least in my scenario, and that's good. So, yeah, the only thing we need is packaged nitrogen gas. I forgot that the nitrogen gas one is the one with the little black top piece on there, and the empty fluid tanks are just plain all one color aluminum. So. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, so I was trying to figure out where we're gonna pull our nitrogen gas from. It turns out we don't need a whole heck of a lot. We only need like roughly 350 or so. We have a nitrogen gas well up here that we can pull from that's actually really close, and it already has a train station on it. So we could either pull the nitrogen gas down here and then package it here, which could work. Or we could have a separate little building next to the nitrogen gas to package it for us. The only problem is we'd need another train station to bring plastic. And that's the other thing too, is this factory is going to need another train station. However, that's actually a good thing, because we need 5 train stations to do this. We need 4 inputs and 1 output. However, most of the layouts that I go with is longer, which we are going to go longer. Is longer rather than wide, so that'll end up with 5 train stations, and then there's this big gap right next to the 5th one. So if we do a 3x2 train station setup, we can put in that extra train station that brings in plastic to be able to package our nitrogen gas for us, because we only need 96, and if we actually pull out a packager right here, we can look inside this packaged nitrogen gas, and how much? Oops. And how much did we need? 96. So yeah, we'll have to have a sub factory within this one. But I'm actually willing to accept it. Yes, I do have a packaging facility, but that's for uploading only. I don't have train stations to bring in plastic to be able to pack it. I have it being packaged. I don't have train stations to export it. That's what it was. Okay. Okay, so 90. immediately screwed it up. 96. Yeah, that's not that bad. 384 nitrogen gas, and we just need to get our empty fluid tanks. Oh, yeah, so we're going to need to have 2 packagers. Or no, not 2 packagers. We're going to need to have a set of constructors, too, to make the... No, we're not. Just bring the empty fluid tanks over here. Duh. I have a facility making those. I just don't know how much it's making and how much is left. We'll have to go check that out at some point. Which is, like I said, just over there in the Desert Canyon, big old packaging facility. But yeah, so I think we've got a plan here. Now people are probably wondering, you know, that's a little bit weird. Why are you doing 1 per minute per machine when the machines can do so much more and you could do with so much less machines? I could do this with 3 machines essentially. Why am I doing 8? There's a very, very specific reason to this factory design that I am doing 8 manufacturers. So I've lowered this down to 1. I've just underclocked the crap out of it. There's a very specific reason, and when we get halfway through the factory build and we start working on the design work and stuff like that, you're going to eventually you're going to figure out why we need 8 manufacturers. Very specifically, 8 manufacturers. I can't give anything away. I don't want to give away my plan just yet, but yeah, that we need specifically 8 manufacturers. Okay. So for that to work, we might have to scooch this up to go to here because that is a very, very long factory. We'll see though. We'll see. Okay. So what I want to do is, so we're coming into the factory here. I'm actually going to move this foundation set to center it so that we center it basically on this rail line here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The foundations are going to be offset, but that's okay. So there's our center, and then we're going to go out 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there's how wide it's going to be, essentially. We might make it a bit wider. You know what? Yeah, we'll make it one more wide. Oh, this is going to be a very big build. I actually don't know. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do it specifically. We might have a platform and then have the factory on top of it, or we might just incorporate the entire thing into one big factory build. But yeah, so basically we've got to build ourselves a platform, 2x6 train stations. So yeah, that's going to take me a minute, so let me go ahead and get that done. Alrighty, so after that's finally done, did take me quite a while. I had to keep keep going out to the grasslands because I had a buggy train. Freaking train kept they kept not wanting to pass through the signals, just bugging out. Finally got it fixed though. Just kept pushing it through all the signals until it made its round, and then that seemed to have fixed it. Alrighty though, but now that we have all the train stations in place, I do have all the trains going out and getting materials for all of this, so that we can get this factory up and going at some point. So we got stators being brought in. Well, we do not have stators being brought in because I forgot the train. Hooray! Another train. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this one is, if I remember correctly, Steel Blue and Traffic Orange. Traffic Orange, there you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, yeah, use the F key over it so that doesn't bug out. Okay, this is, so how many, fix it out. How many stator trains do we have? Let's see. We have 3, okay. This will be stator train of 4. Edit. Stators. Wait for the autosave, of course. Come on, autosave. There we go. All right, stators. Stators, steel pipe import, stators, wire import. Oh, is it stator factory? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Stator factory export, turbo motor, stators import. Save changes, turn on self-driving. And then we'll just make a quick little pass over this train here. There we go. Hopefully it doesn't come back bugged. it like ghosts it out, or it puts a red line around it. It's really weird. Yeah. Alrighty, but we have now we have everything coming in that we need. I was like, I'm pretty sure I got them all. No, I missed one, which is this one here. So, and I did go back and look at the motors. And also, I did fix the pressure conversion queues, the export, or the trains import and export. It was P/C/C, and it was just like, no, we can't have that. So I named it pressure cubes, factory export, pressure cubes, radio control, or radio C, or radio units import. Yeah, just kind of renamed it. So that is now all going. Alrighty. So now we'll go ahead and grab ourselves a wall, just temporarily. I'm going to grab myself some fix-it wall. It doesn't really matter. And we're going to go ahead and put a wall just anywhere along here will work. Just so we can get the height. There we go. And then foundation. And this is mostly where the factory is going to be, of course. Or at least the start of it, anyway. So this particular floor, this one's going to be... we have a lot of space here. So we might combine the logistics floor and the packagers right here on this floor. Because where my manufacturers are going to be at are actually going to be above this. So this one might combine all the... we'll do all of the, what you call it, on this floor here. All the logistics just on this floor specifically. And then we'll just have lifts that bring it straight up to the machines where they need to go. Then we can kind of do like an inspection kind of coming in and leaving as well. There's so much room on this floor that it's just like, yeah, I could just throw it on the manufacturers, the packagers, a few belts and factory done, and, you know, move it on. But this one's going to be a more artistic build than anything else. I'm going to try and get it as accurate as I can to what I want to build it. But I'd imagine some of the proportions are going to be off slightly and whatnot. But, you know, I'm going to try to make it look good. And stuff like that, so... I'm going to try to make it look somewhat decent. We shall see. We shall see what happens. But yeah, we can definitely throw down our foundation so we can get our lights in place. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that's the rough spacing. So since this is going to be a logistics floor, we're probably not going to have a space all the way down to the train station. Well, actually, we might be able to still. If we go like right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5. Yeah. Okay. Then we have a space of 1, 2, 3. Yeah, actually, I don't mind having this like that. Yeah, so basically we're just kind of doing the molding point at the moment. We're gonna lay out the clay, get it in the rough shape that we need, get the factory up and going, get everything belted, get power going, and stuff like that. And then we will shape the factory around, or we'll shape the outer shell around it. While still trying to maintain somewhat of a decent looking factory on the inside, although the inside doesn't matter as much as the outside does, of course. As we have seen with most of my factories, the outside of the factory looks great. Looks good. It's like, oh, that's a pretty cool factory. Go inside and it's just like, could have done better, you know? It could have been a little better in that area, but I'm not a super interior design decorator. It's just like, that's just not my type of thing. I mean, sometimes I can pull it off, and then most times it's just like, it's like, yeah, this looks okay. It's industrious, sure, but it's just like, you know? That's my best way to explain it. It's just like, yeah, I have no idea. Some of the inside of my factories look decent enough. But yeah, I don't have that switch in my brain to be able to turn that on and be like, oh yeah, look at my beautiful inside of the inside of my beautiful factory as well. It's usually pretty dark and dank and depressing. It's like, oh, it looks like a factory, I suppose. We'll try to do a little better this time around. I'm actually going to do some lighting and stuff in this one. But yeah, I think I've decided, because of how much space we have here, the this portion of the factory is just going to be like a it's going to be more like a plinth, I guess you could say, to put the factory on. Just because of how much we have here. There's way too much, in my opinion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we'll go that far in. Yeah, and I might even make this smaller. We'll see what happens. I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably do like a this is, like I said, this is just mainly to mold out to get the clay down and get it molded to a rough shape before we move on. We need to do all the factory stuff first and then figure out how we can shape it afterwards. Get it shaped out and then trim down the fat and stuff like that, I guess you could say, is a possible way of putting it. Alright, so there's a rough platform. So like I said, yeah, this is going to be a logistics floor. I'm going to try and hug the inner portion of this as much as possible because, yeah, I think I am going to kind of go from this outer piece right here and then try to shape it inwards. Maybe do 2 foundations in, and then we can kind of shape it like that. And then this can be either a solid structure or it could either be a solid structure or a skeleton or whatever, a rib cage, as you could say, supporting the actual factory that goes on top. Kind of like what we did with the assembly directory systems factory. It's going to be it might end up kind of similar to that. But yeah, I'm kind of unsure with myself here. Okay, but now that we've got the train stations down, we've got the kind of platform down, I guess we could do the one thing. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put the solid all the way in. Yeah, it's just like, yeah. Okay, well, you know what we could do, actually, before I do that? We could do a glass floor in the center here so we can see the trains. Yeah, let's do a glass floor. I mean, I don't usually like to do the foundations, the foundation ones, because they have an issue where they tend to reflect certain things that don't really make any sense. Should we do it like that? Yeah. So I guess we might end up having to shape the train station early on. That might be a thing we have to do. Now we're going to have to do it out of pillars as well, because they don't have there's no walls or anything that actually go that steep. So we'll have to do some pillar work, which pillar work does take a while. But if we build it within a blueprint, it's actually not so bad. It'll kind of save us on some time. There you go. Yeah, we'll have the train stations below. Okay, I'll wait for our autosave here. Let's pull out the blueprinter. There we go. Alright, I need to figure out, okay, how long is this factory? Do we want to go the full shape? Or do we want to have a rounded, like, edge at the corner? Like, if we take off two like this. Okay, so, I don't know. Yeah, doing a rounded shape is going to be very interesting. But yeah, we could probably pull it off. Just kind of round it out on the corners here. Okay. So then we'll do the count and then do -2, I suppose. Yeah, like I said, the turbo motor factory is definitely one I've been really excited to build, but also kind of I don't know, kind of anxious and kind of like not really sure of myself on this one. Okay, so 40, so we're going to need to go by either by 2 or by 4. Actually 4. 4 is perfect. Okay. So we'll go 4 foundations across with our piece, and then we'll make that work. What I'm probably going to do is do a full foundation here, and then we can kind of get started on the blueprint that also goes down to, I think. Get centered in here. Depends, because we got to go up. We got to go up 6. 6 by 2. So that there, and then we'll have. Okay, so we'll put in a wall. Okay, yeah, so we can do that. All right. So if we go up by 6, and then it kind of. Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do then? Go up even higher. I don't know if I'm going to leave this foundation in here or not. We'll see. But the basic idea of what I want to do is I want to take this and I'm going to go freeform and do that. And then let's do... Because it's sort of like a plinth, right? Like I say, it's kind of like a plinth. And wall's 8 meter. That's about all we'd be able to do, though. Okay, so if we pull a pillar down here, it's the basic idea, though. So the pillars are going to go all the way across here. We might do something interesting with them to kind of make it a little better. But I think we'll do pillars all the way across. And I don't know what to do with this top piece yet. Maybe we'll leave the top piece out for now. Actually, I'll put the top piece in. Here's what we'll do. It's actually really smart, because we're going to be making this kind of a modular piece. So what we'll do is we'll put the top piece in. We'll get that pillar in place for this, and then we'll delete the pillar, delete the top wall section, and then we'll have 2 of these on top of that to do the logistics floor. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. But for now, though, yeah, let me get this piece in place, and then we'll get that going all the way around. We'll have to build a corner as well for this particular build. Can we go 4 across, or do we need a special... do we need a special piece? This. 9. Okay, so we're going to need a special piece that goes across there for 9. So it'll either have to be a 1, probably a 1. We'll do like a central, I don't know, like a little central light or something like that, just for that specific section. Okay, we can make that work. Alrighty. Alrighty then, so finally got the outer shell done, and I think this looks, I think it looks good. I really do. Well, the outer shell of the train station, anyway. We still got a long way to go. But the outer shell of the train station is done, the detail work and everything. I was like, well, I'll do the blueprints, and then we'll just put it together. You can see the blueprint size, because we've got, you know, these sections here, and then we got these sections here. This one I just drew by hand, but this one on the corner. The corner didn't work out the way I wanted it to, so I got upset and irritated at it, and just kind of built this. I was like, yeah, you know, that works great. It actually works. So I tried to follow the design work of here. So with each one of these sides, it kind of indentation. It's got an indentation every step until it hits the center, and then it goes back up. But yeah, that worked out pretty well. And then at nighttime, it's going to light up the edges. And since these foundation, and I was going to paint it all black, but since the foundations are kind of like a gray color, the lumen actually bounces off of them a lot more. As you can even see during the daylight, you can kind of see like a shimmer of yellow light coming off of this. And because it was like, why black and yellow? It's like, well, the turbo motors are black and yellow, so we're going to go with that theme, just based on the color of the item itself. We're going to go with that, those colorations of it. So yeah, the factory, this is going to be the, like I said, this is going to be the, not sure what to call it. Or what you call it? Logistics floor, that's it. And it's like, my brain just like, nope, we're, oh, what the heck? What happened there? That was weird. Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and clear this blueprint designer. Then we can get rid of it, of course, with all the lag in the world. But yeah, that's actually a pretty good stopping point for now. So I guess next time, we'll see what next time is going to be. With the battery factory project being so near completion, the next episode, I don't know what that's going to be. We're just going to have to wait and see. If we end up working on this, then it's this. If not, then obviously not. But yeah, it's just the future is kind of uncertain with this factory, what's going to be worked on next. So in this particular save. But yeah, I think this looks pretty good so far. It's really nice. So we'll have the factory on top here. This is the plinth, by the way. So it's going to be plinth, and then we're going to have the factory on top of here, which is going to be obviously significantly smaller. Well, not significantly smaller, but just smaller in general. Of that, we'll put it on top, and then we'll have to... some of the logistics floor might end up outside. We'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting from here. To see how we can put the rest of this together and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so far I'm pretty happy with that and whatnot. So yeah, everything's looking good. But with that though, I do believe that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. So yeah, like I said, next time I don't exactly know what's going to happen, but more than likely we're going to work on this. We'll see. More than likely it's going to be this. Continuing on this factory, getting this factory done. So then we can move on to doing the Phase 4 factories. We got 3 of those to build still, so. But yeah, like I said, for now though, that is going to be it. So I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see on your screen right now. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.